Best HFY story, He Doesn't Bite and Humanity's Accomplishments, a brief list, 2607, r/HFY. Prologue, Welcome to the Galactic Forum. The Galactic Forum, a sprawling space station orbiting the neutral system of Zenta, was a hub of interstellar politics, diplomacy, and culture. For centuries, it had been a place where species gathered to exchange ideas and settle disputes. Humanity, the newest entrant to the galactic community, was still a subject of curiosity, awe, and, in some cases, fear. Chapter 1, He Doesn't Bite. Ambassador Elena Hayes stood outside the main council chamber, her polished boots tapping nervously against the pristine metal floor. Beside her stood Max, a genetically enhanced wolf from Earth's Conservation Restoration Initiative. Max was enormous, his fur gleaming silver and his piercing eyes unnervingly intelligent. Inside the chamber, whispers floated through the air as representatives from dozens of species debated humanity's petition to join the Core Alliance. The issue wasn't humanity's technological advancements, resource contributions, or even their tenacity, it was their unpredictability, and their companions. As the doors to the chamber opened, the cacophony of voices hushed. Hayes and Max stepped inside, every eye fixated on them. A HFY delegate, a creature resembling a sentient jellyfish encased in a translucent exosuit, floated forward. Ambassador Hayes, the HFY said telepathically, it has come to our attention that you brought a predator to this sacred chamber. Hayes smiled diplomatically. Max isn't just a predator, he's a friend. Humanity has a long history of partnerships with animals. They've helped us explore, protect, and survive. He's here to demonstrate that partnership. The Myrtle delegate, a towering insectoid with 6 spindly legs, hissed in disapproval. A friend? It's a beast. How can we trust a species that walks hand in hand with such creatures? Hayes gestured to Max. Max, come. The wolf padded forward, his movements graceful yet imposing. He sat beside Hayes, towering even while seated. Hayes reached out to scratch behind his ears, and Max let out a soft, contented rumble. See, he doesn't bite. The chamber erupted in murmurs again, some curious, others skeptical. The HFY delegate floated closer. You domesticated a predator? Why? Hayes straightened, her voice proud. Because we saw potential in each other. Humanity doesn't just conquer, we form bonds. Whether it's wolves, dolphins, or even species here in this room, we find strength in cooperation. Chapter 2, Humanity's Accomplishments. As the council deliberated, Hayes was asked to explain humanity's contributions to the galaxy. Her words sparked an unusual turn in the discussion. The Zintari delegate, a crystalline being whose voice resonated like a chime, spoke first. Your species is unique. You are known for your innovation, but also for your recklessness. Perhaps you could provide examples of your accomplishments? Hayes raised an eyebrow. Examples? Well, where do I begin? 1. We harnessed fire. It started with fire, Hayes began, not remarkable on its own, but we didn't stop there. We used it to cook, to forge, to survive. Fire was our first tool, and from it came everything else. 2. We went to space. Because we were curious. We saw the stars and thought, why not? No pressing reason, just curiosity, and we didn't stop at our moon. We've mapped planets, visited asteroids, and built homes in the void. 3. We domesticated predators. Wolves weren't the only ones. Big cats, birds of prey, even creatures with venom. Humans found ways to coexist and thrive with them. 4. We created art that speaks across species. We've painted caves, composed symphonies, and written epics. Our art transcends language, and we hope it speaks to you as well. 5. We invented games, and play them with relentless passion. Yes, games, from strategy to skill. We even simulate war to avoid real ones, and if you ever want a match, we'll bring our best. 6. We adapted to every environment. From deserts to frozen tundras, Earth wasn't kind to us, so we adapted. Now, we live on worlds just as harsh, and thrive. 7. We're still learning. Most importantly, Hayes concluded, we've accomplished all this while making mistakes, but we learn, we grow, and we strive for more. Chapter 3, Bonds Forged in the Stars. The council chamber was silent as Hayes finished, The HFY delegate floated closer to Max and hesitated. Then, with a tentacle, it reached out toward him. Max sniffed curiously and then gently nudged the appendage with his nose. The delegate's telepathic voice rang out, "Perhaps. There is strength in such bonds." One by one, other delegates stepped forward, asking questions, sharing stories, and, for some, tentatively interacting with Max. The Myrtle delegate still hissed in disapproval but did not object further. When the vote finally came, humanity's petition to join the Core Alliance passed, narrowly, but it passed. As Hayes exited the chamber, she leaned down to scratch Max behind the ears. "Good job, boy, you won them over." Max wagged his tail. Epilogue, a legacy of cooperation. Humanity's integration into the Core Alliance was the beginning of a new era. Their willingness to form bonds with species, creatures, and ideas reshaped the galactic community. From that day forward, they were known not just as survivors or innovators but as partners, friends, and dreamers. And Max, he became the first non-human ambassador of Earth, a living testament to the power of trust and cooperation. HFY forever. Best HFY story, He Doesn't Bite and Humanity's Accomplishments, a brief list, 2607, r/HFY. Chapter 4, The Trust Test. Months after humanity's entry into the Core Alliance, relations were improving, but trust among some species remained tentative. The Myrtle delegate, Captain Threx, remained the most vocal skeptic. To address lingering doubts, the Alliance proposed a joint mission into the Abyssal Veil, an uncharted and dangerous sector of space where ships had gone missing for centuries. The mission would test not only humanity's adaptability but also their ability to lead under pressure. Hayes was chosen to command the expedition, and her team included members of several skeptical species, Captain Threx among them. As the team prepared for departure aboard the Earth-built exploration ship Vanguard Horizon, Hayes brought Max aboard. Threx hissed disapprovingly. "Why must you bring that thing? We do not require predators for this mission." Hayes smirked. "You don't require trust, either, Captain, but it might save your life." Chapter 5, Into the Abyss. The Abyssal Veil was a graveyard of shattered ships and faint distress beacons. As the Vanguard Horizon navigated the treacherous region, the crew worked together, but tensions ran high. Threx, an efficient but cold leader, clashed with Hayes's adaptive, open approach. While the Myrtle captain saw danger in every shadow, Hayes encouraged trust and creativity. "Why do humans take unnecessary risks?" Threx demanded after Hayes allowed an Elan scientist to experiment with the ship's energy shields to counteract an unexpected gravity surge. "Because sometimes risks pay off," Hayes replied, her tone calm. "You can't innovate if you're afraid to fail." The shields held, allowing the ship to evade a collapsing star. For the first time, Threx remained silent, his skepticism tempered with reluctant respect. Chapter 6, The Apex Encounter. As the Vanguard Horizon ventured deeper, they discovered the source of the disappearances, a massive apex predator, an ancient creature resembling a bioluminescent leviathan, its sheer size enough to dwarf the ship. The creature's energy signature was off the charts, interfering with navigation and communications. The apex attacked, ensnaring the ship in its tentacle-like appendages. The crew panicked, scrambling to respond. Hayes, however, noticed something others had missed. The apex wasn't attacking out of hunger or aggression, it was territorial, protecting a nest of eggs. "We need to show we're not a threat," Hayes said. "Max, you're up." Threx hissed. "This is absurd. A predator cannot reason with another predator." "Max doesn't just follow orders, he understands intent," Hayes countered. With a gesture, Hayes commanded Max to approach the viewport. The wolf's calm demeanor seemed to catch the apex's attention. Max let out a low, harmonious howl, his tone echoing through the ship's external speakers. The apex paused, its bioluminescence dimming. Slowly, the creature released the ship, retreating back to its nest. Chapter 7, Bonds Forged in the Void. The crew was stunned. Threx, in particular, seemed at a loss for words. Hayes turned to him with a wry smile. "Still think Max is just a predator?" Threx's mandibles clicked as he finally spoke. "Perhaps there is more to your partnerships than I understood. Trust is not a weakness after all." The return journey to the Galactic Forum was met with celebration. The mission not only secured valuable data about the Abyssal Veil but also symbolized a new era of cooperation between humanity and the Alliance. Epilogue, Humanity's Accomplishments Revisited. As Hayes stood before the Galactic Forum once more, she was asked to summarize humanity's greatest strengths. She spoke with pride. 1. We take risks. Every accomplishment begins with the courage to fail. Without risk, there is no reward. 2. We form bonds. From wolves to leviathans to alien species, humanity thrives on connection. We don't just survive, we build bridges. 3. We never stop learning. We adapt, we grow, and even when we stumble, we keep moving forward. Max, now an intergalactic symbol of trust and cooperation, stood beside her, his silver fur gleaming under the chamber's lights. As Hayes finished her speech, Max let out a single, proud howl that resonated through the forum. For the first time, every species in the chamber understood, humanity wasn't just another species, they were partners, allies, and innovators. And they had brought their best friend along for the ride. HFY forever. Best HFY story, He Doesn't Bite and Humanity's Accomplishments, A Brief List, 2607, r/HFY. Chapter 8, The Alliance Pact. Following the success of the Abyssal Veil mission, humanity's place in the core alliance was no longer questioned. What began as a fragile coalition had blossomed into a bond of mutual respect. The Galactic Forum officially recognized humanity's contributions with a ceremony, where Hayes and Max were honored as symbols of trust and innovation. Kavala, a Zyroth delegate known for their stoic demeanor, addressed the forum. Humanity has shown us that bonds, even with those we fear, are the foundation of strength. Their persistence has taught us what we lacked. Let this day mark the beginning of a united future. As applause filled the chamber, Hayes stood beside Max, her gaze sweeping the crowd. Thank you, she said, her voice steady but emotional. We may be newcomers, but we're here to stay. Together, we'll explore, build, and protect what we all hold dear. Chapter 9, Humanity's Finest Hour. Humanity's integration into the core alliance led to the rapid sharing of technology, culture, and ideas. Earth, once seen as a distant and unremarkable planet, became a hub of innovation and diplomacy. But as the galaxy celebrated its newfound unity, a new threat emerged, a warlike species known as the Krivax. The Krivax were ruthless conquerors, their massive fleets sweeping across systems with devastating precision. When their scouts entered Alliance space, it was clear that war was imminent. The Alliance looked to humanity, their newest member, for leadership. Hayes, now an admiral, was chosen to lead the defense. Her first act, to form a diverse task force representing every member species. We fight together, or we fall alone, she declared. Chapter 10, The Battle of Unity's Light. The Krivax launched their assault at the Unity Cluster, a strategic region of space where Alliance shipyards and trade routes converged. The Alliance fleet, led by Hayes aboard the flagship Unity's Light, was outnumbered but determined. Max was by her side on the bridge, wearing a specially designed harness that allowed him to relay commands through gestures and signals, a testament to humanity's ingenuity and their unbreakable bond with their companions. The battle was fierce. The Krivax ships, bristling with weaponry, tested every defense the Alliance had, but humanity's adaptive tactics, combined with the strengths of their allies, turned the tide. The Zoltari provided impenetrable shields, the Myrtle launched precision strikes with their advanced plasma cannons, the Elan utilized their telepathic abilities to outmaneuver the enemy, and humanity did what they did best, they improvised. When the Krivax flagship attempted to flank the Alliance fleet, Hayes and her crew executed a risky maneuver. The Unity's Light feigned retreat, luring the Krivax into a trap where the combined fleet overwhelmed them in a perfectly coordinated ambush. Max, sensing Hayes's tension during the critical moment, let out a reassuring bark. Hayes chuckled, "See, I told you he doesn't bite, but he fights." Chapter 11, Legacy of the Pack. The Krivax were defeated, their fleets shattered and their ambitions crushed. The victory cemented humanity's reputation as more than just survivors, they were protectors and leaders. The Galactic Forum convened once more to honor the heroes of the battle. Hayes, standing with Max, addressed the assembly. "We've faced threats before, But this time, we faced them as one. The strength of the alliance is in its unity, and humanity is proud to be part of this extraordinary family. Together, there's nothing we can't overcome. Epilogue, a new chapter. Years later, as peace reigned across the galaxy, humanity's legacy continued to grow. The phrase "he doesn't bite" became a symbol of trust, often used in diplomatic discussions as a reminder of humanity's unique approach to relationships. Max's descendants became an interstellar breed, celebrated across the galaxy as companions and symbols of humanity's enduring spirit. And humanity? They didn't stop. They explored the furthest reaches of space, formed bonds with new species, and pushed the boundaries of what was possible. Because for humanity, the list of accomplishments was never complete. There was always another story to write, another bond to form, and another adventure waiting just beyond the stars. HFY forever.